Goodness comes and evil goes. Kimungo Ukombozi, Kimungo Ukombozi, Kimungo Ukombozi, divine liberty, divine liberation, divine freedom, and all that will bring for African people wherever we happen to be on the face of this earth. Karibu, welcome. My name is Kwende, and today we're going to get into another important subject, and that subject is Marcus Garvey and the harmonious and complementary union between the African man and the African woman. Marcus Garvey, as with all our great and exceptional heroes, knew and understood that the union between the African man and the African woman was fundamental to African ascension, to nation building and nationhood in African life. And in his own experience, Marcus Garvey became a married man, initially to Amy Ashwood Garvey in 1919, so-called, after a failed assassination attempt. And that union came to a close. It was to terminate in divorce. Now, wonderfully, Marcus Garvey, having experienced the challenge of engaging in a marriage that did not quite work out, he did not give up. He did not abandon the fundamental ideal, the necessary ideal, the vital ideal of himself becoming married again. He did not do that. He learned the lessons and moved on with his life in order to bring forth a second union, which would ultimately prove to be his eternal union with Amy Jakes Garvey. And there's some lessons in that for African souls as a whole. Because if unions do not work out, are not conducive to nationhood and working in the best interests of African ascension, then we can move on and harmonize with a soul that is complementary and harmonious for the fulfillment of maximum potential and maximum capability. And Marcus Garvey's example shows African souls just that. This exceptional hero, this supreme visionary, brought to fruition a union, albeit that the first attempt did not last. He was able to bring forth a union of victorious success. The harmonious and complementary union between the African man and the African woman is crucial in the thrust of righteous order to prevail in this world. So following the failed assassination attempt, and whilst in his state of recovery, Amy Jakes Garvey, his second wife and what would become his eternal wife, said the following, quote, "While he was in Harlem Hospital, Amy Ashwood, a Jamaican friend from Panama, then secretary of the New York local, removed his belongings from his furnished room to her flat. At the end of December, they were married. The following year, about 3 months after the event, on his return from a trip, he called Miss Henrietta Davis, Assistant President General, and myself being Amy Jakes Garvey, to a conference. He said he wanted us to know before the reporters had their own way. He had decided to separate from his wife and get a divorce afterwards. He had given the matter deep thought and felt that he was acting in the best interest of his work, which came first in his life, and his own peace of mind." End quote. So were the words of Amy Jakes Garvey. Now I just want to hone in on that phrase, peace of mind. That is what a spouse brings. And in the thrust for organized African ascension, peace of mind, in the intimate union of harmonious and complementary African man and African woman in oneness of being, is a wonderful basis from which to ascend, from which to progress, from which to grow, develop, cultivate, nurture, and flourish. So with that food for thought, and surely it is food for thought, Kimunga Ukombozi, Kimunga Ukombozi, Kimunga Ukombozi, divine liberty, divine liberation, divine freedom, and all that that will bring for African people wherever we happen to be on the face of this earth.
The cry is raised all over the world, of Canada for the Canadians, of America for the Americans, of England for the English, of France for the French, of Germany for the Germans. Do we take it unreasonable that we, the blacks of the world, should raise the cry of Africa for the Africans?